crisis, though, right? Because
Yes,
we
you
don't
were.
want Modrith's people to find Marion's camp, right? I mean, am I on track there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Girl is definitely from the last session. Reality is kind of hitting Girl that Modrith is not the mother who she wanted. That Modrith is not necessarily going to reciprocate with any kind of genuine love towards
audio.
Oh, you're losing it, Rod? It's coming through okay to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's not that I want you left out.
What?
Yeah, to summarize that right, the point is that Girl is having very ambivalent thoughts about Modrith.
You had this nice heart-to-heart, confessional, and then you all turn around and realise that Snaps, the wolfling, wearing a big grin, has crept up and has been listening in. He's just to set the scene a little bit. You're somewhere in a relatively private space, but within the hillfolk camps, I recall. He's standing there, tall, blonde, kind of fuzzy sort of beard thing going on. His shirt open and a big scar across his chest. I've been rolling on the trait tables again.
I was gonna say you're ramping up the hotness on the guys after we mocked the guy's hotness last time, aren't you?
Yes, and although I don't know how hot the guy who's busy listening into your private conversations is likely to be, but he's there, kind of just hanging out, listening, and if assuming as you notice him, you all turn around and it's clear. And as I recall, the last thing somebody said was Shining Star saying, "Shall I kill him, girl?" He's hands up. Oh, sorry, I do apologise for listening in, ladies.
Planning on joining the party, Snaps?
Well, I've been asked to keep an eye out for Go. Adolfo is very keen to talk to her a bit more. Adolfo being the mysterious road wolfling person who Modric is talking to and discussing.
I'm letting Christabel take the lead on this one.
Well, so I'll just lean over to Girl and whisper, "Who's Adolfo?"
Well, he showed up during our raid at the warehouse where the Hydra's teeth were being stored, where they were being exchanged. I don't know much about him. And Girl will look at Snaps and say, "What exactly does Adolfo want? Why does Adolfo want me? What is his interest in me?"
Okay. Shall we say that's some sort of role? Are you just generally asking in a nice way, in which case it's probably a charm roll?
Okay.
Unless you wanted to, be a bit more intimidating and threatening, in which case we could.
No, I think at this point charm would work.
Cool.
I got a poor result.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
And
I am not the most charming.
Okay. So, what was the question again, sorry?
Why does Adolfo take an interest in me? What is his interest?
So Snaps is he kind of shrugs. He's like, I just do what I'm told. I don't really know what my betters are thinking about. I mean, he's this big, ever-changing one priest, but I mean, he says I do the chanting, but I don't do the sort of politics behind it.
Snaps, don't you think there's better things in life than priest chanting and murdering? You'd like to start a small business.
I'm going to be at my. Do you want to make a roll out of that, Rod? Because I'm going to be at my most charming. All of us. Finally, looking between the two of you, lowering my arrowhead. Do you want to roll, or do you want?
Yes.
Can I hop in, or what do you say?
I'll happy to make a roll if you think it's a roll.
No,
Yes,
I'm not. Whatever Rod
I think
says
it's a
or what you
charm.
say.
I think it's a charm roll.
Okay.
I want the opportunity to.
I'm making a charm roll, and I rolled a 55. That is not too bad. That's passable.
Cool.
On the right side of the line.
It's the right side of the line, particularly because his hostility is only 4. So hostility being the interactive stats that all these various foes have.
So no, good.
See, he's not that hostile a dude. Okay.
Well, this is entirely because I rolled a trait for him and it came up as polite. Like, okay. Polite outlaw, fair enough.
Polite.
Just doing what he's told. He's nice enough, but he does say, well, he kind of likes the violence and killing people. That's kind of his happy times. But what sort of business were you talking about?
That's great. Well, I don't know, something in the animal husbandry line. We're getting the hell out of here, and we'd like to know that no one's going to be reporting our whereabouts to Modrith. And the easiest way for us to know that if someone like you decided they wanted to have a change of scene and get into a new line of work.
Can I turn that into a charm attempt myself?
I think you can.
All right. Let's see if I can phrase this. So all this time I've been like holding my bow and arrow in a, if not a, drawn to my cheek, at least in a, I can get this shot off before you blink kind of pose. And at this point I'll relax that pose and look significantly at both Girl and Shining Star before looking at this fellow.
Your Shining Star.
I'm sorry, at Christabel and Girl, and then I'll look at this fellow and say, well, it looks like I'm outvoted, so it's all right with me if you travel with us. And I'm sure you'd like it too. And I'm saying this in sort of the most fun way that could possibly be construed. Very Marianne. Very Marianne, not Ginger.
Okay. That's definitely have a +1 column shift to your roll.
Ooh. Fellow players, take note. How you get a column shift. No. Not the greatest roll. So I too am passable. Which is really too bad because I could have used an awesome on that one.
Snaps is like, he looks from young lady to young lady and says, well, all I've been told to do is keep an eye on her, so I can do that. You guys are heading off somewhere, I kind of got to come with you, I guess. And let's not make it a bad experience for anybody.
It looks like we got ourselves a buddy, although we're sleeping in shifts from now on.
Fair.
So where are we heading anyway? He says.
Well, our plan was to stick with the camp for a little while, right? Is that off?
I would say probably so. I mean, we need to collect your sister and get going.
I can go do that. He can keep an eye on Girl here.
Okay, fair enough. That's actually a good idea.
As
yes.
long as the letter of the law is to be observed for the foreseeable future. I'm looking at my world map here, hopefully titled "The World," and we may want to make our way. Oh man, all the way up to somewhere called Bay or even Dunkling. Dunkling.
Dunkling. I have
Because
unilaterally.
our goal was basically to sail for Tourmaline, right? That's what we were thinking. So
Was it Tourmaline or Whisperling?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, if we go to, I'd like to probably find out more about either place in detail. Going just by geography, I mean, I was thinking to get somewhere quick would be to go to Whisperley. And although, actually, frankly, I don't think Whisperley would be as hospitable. It's a she city.
Oh, is that what the deal? What
Yeah.
did your sister specifically? Did she say Tourmaline?
I think she was interested in Tourmaline. This is the largest city in the world. It's the jewel of the Elven Empire, all of which means to me complex, confusing, diverse, and full of bolt holes. Whereas Whisperley is perhaps more homogeneous and more, well, let's just say we've already brushed up against the Unseelie court once.
Fair enough.
And I'd really rather not get all wrapped up in those machinations.
Right.
Much as Ross is going to do it anyway, but I'll give him as little rope as possible.
Understood. Let's go to New York.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Rather than Washington. Just to looking at the map, I have unilaterally decided that there's a canal from Smith City to the head of this bay inlet thing. So if you wanted to use that as a way to get to the sea, you're very welcome to do that.
That'd be great.
Although the canal is the opposite side of the city from where you are at the moment.
Boy, we are just riding around and around and around Smith City, aren't we? Okay.
But you don't have to do that.
It's like there's a gravitational field. You have to go around and around and around.
You're very welcome to head off into Brownie Country and north from there, or into the Easterling Empire if you would prefer that. Or...
And Girl will kind of... Snaps had a companion initially.
He did.
Girl doesn't... Looking around, sniffing around. Is it just Snaps, or is there any sense that there's more than just Snaps?
I do not want his buddy running off. I was kind of hoping he hadn't followed since the fight. I was kind of hoping that he hadn't come all the way up toward the camp.
So that sounds like it might be a rolling ball for a girl. Shall we say? Are you actively looking around to see if there's any trace of him, or is it?
Yes, I'm definitely kind of on the alert for Snaps' companion or any other wolflings that might be.
Let's put an alertness roll in to see if you.
If I'm notified, I can also make alertness.
I rolled great on that.
Ooh.
So, well, that's fine.
So you have a good look around. There's the usual life of people wandering, cattle, but there doesn't be any sign of any wolflings. No hints of the slightly disturbed horses and cattle you sometimes see when you're around them. So no, it doesn't seem that anybody's there. It's just Snaps, and he kind of notices you looking around, and he shrugs. Just me.
What happened to the other guy? Or rather, do I even know about the other guy? Maybe I shouldn't ask that.
You probably don't, unless anyone.
Okay, I don't. Okay.
Anyone else wants to ask about the other guy? That's fine.
I don't know if I knew about the other guy or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be natural that Girl would say, "What about your companion?" And when you saw me involved in the fight, why did you not help out? I mean, you helped out initially, but Why did you hang back while I was engaged with the other guards?
Oh, I figured you didn't need any arrows sticking out of you with all those spears pointing into you, and we didn't get a clear shot. But so he's being friendly, isn't he? He says the other guy, he's gone off to find Adolfo. So just so you know, that's what that's his thing. And we've been left to keep an eye on you. It wasn't clear that meant murdering a whole heap more people. Hey, you didn't need our help. You dealt with those guys.
You had a bunch of holes poked in you, though. You were
Yes.
right in your post. You were talking about how even heavy wounds weren't quite as frightening as they sound on paper.
Yeah.
But a critical to the head on the critical catastrophe. I don't know what, but
Catastrophic.
yeah.
Or critical. Yeah, the critical wounds are pretty.
Critical wound to the head, and your head was already taken knocks. So
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone badly.
Yeah.
Anyway, Snap says, "But you're looking fine now." And he's kind of waggling eyebrows out.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Okay. All this aside, let's see. So I suspect that I should go to Marion's camp, collect my sis, say thanks to Marion, warn Marion about lurking, ruffians and the presence of Modrith's band, but we are getting our toxic presence as far away from her orphans as we possibly can. Which is kind of sad because I wouldn't have minded hanging out there for a few days. But the last thing we need is people like Modrith like thundering in there, not believing that nobody knows where girl is. So anybody, you guys want to make your way up toward the canal and I'll meet you on the way? Or, oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm just exactly the right person to travel alone and go through the woodland by myself. That'll work out great. Yeah. Why don't you stay here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, the more complicated these plans get,
No, I was gonna
the
say
worse
too.
it goes.
I can't even go around a tree without getting lost. So it's the.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I'm much better off in the taverns, on the boats, in the markets, and
Yeah.
hanging out with social people than I am. I'm good with a bow. I'm energetic. I'm athletic. Good with a bow. Can jump around a lot, and I can, find plants. But that's about as far as my elfiness goes. So off I go, and I'm not Ross. I'm at your disposal, or if you want to just.
I'm happy for you to. You can find your way back to Marion's camp. You know where that is. Moon's Glow is there. She's sort of. Oh, you're back, are you? Where have you been running off to?
Oh, dealing with bloody wounds and sneaky ruffians, and unfortunately bringing more danger down upon us. But hey, what do you think of Tourmaline? As opposed to, for example,
You have to ask.
Yeah, exactly. There's the toilet trenches they have here in this camp, mostly frequented by undisciplined children, or there's indoor plumbing at Tourmaline. So off we go.
Yes.
So I will say goodbye to Marion and inform her of the potential danger. We've tried to stave it off, but the Modrith's band is sniffing about and looking for girl, and it's better for everybody here if we go away. I'll even say looking for a friend of ours. I won't even say her name.
Okay. And Marion wishes you a safe journey on your way, wherever it takes you.